right, hello everybody. I'm at the West Barrhaven Community Corn Boil and Picnic. There might be a few hot dogs here as well. And of course, we're joined by our friend, our colleague, our neighbor, David Hill, our city councillor. All your complaints obviously go to him. And his friend, Ruff, who is the MP for Bruce Grey, Owen Sound, up there in old Bill Murdoch country. Bill was a colleague of mine, so was Bill Walker, great people. And your daughter's joined us right here in Baby Haven.
Yeah, this is my daughter Naomi, and so it's great to be out here. I just thought I'd get a hold. Dave and I had the pleasure of serving together in the Royal Canadian Regiment, but there's a walk for veterans that's going on just in a half an hour or so.
Wow.
So we're going to go down and join that. That's helped sponsored by the True Patriot Love Foundation.
Ah, great.
And as well, there's lots of stuff going on. The Canadian Army run tomorrow here in Ottawa, so it's great to be so much going on. Yesterday, Military Family Appreciation Day, which I think was the 6th annual one of those. So just it's so important that Canadians out there support the military families, because none of our soldiers, sailors, or air crew could be part of the military without that incredible support they have from behind.
Yeah, you guys are really great at making sure, particularly when you're elected, remembering your colleagues and bringing their voices, whether it's City Hall, House of Commons, and for us on the floor of the legislature. Now, you guys both served. David, of course, I often call our community hero because in terms of both of you, not only did you serve our country in Afghanistan and other places around the world, but then you decided to support the community by public service. So, David, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're up to this weekend, why it's important for you to have Alex here, and what you guys are about to do?
No, for sure. I mean, as Alex mentioned, it's a special weekend. You know, we've got the Canada Army Run. We're going to go down to Cars and do the Veterans Walk as well. But it really, you know, one of the most satisfying things that I can do is work with the Ottawa Veterans Task Force, which lets me give back a little bit and try and help out my tribe, my community. And it is very special. So, you know, doing public service here as an elected official, you know, it's not that much different from doing public service in uniform. You know, we work all sorts of hours. It's a bit chaotic. And if the troops aren't a bit mad at me from time to time, it means I'm not doing my job.
And you get shot at from once in a while, but it's not by artillery. Now, I'm going to go to you, and then Alex, I'll go right back to you. One of the things that I think you've been very strong on, and I know your caucus has been very strong as well, is standing up for Israel and talking about the need to support democracies, the need to stand up for human rights, and the need to make sure that little girls get to go to school and the LGBTQ plus communities are supported. You and I have been on many stages, and I think the best speech I've ever heard you give was at the JCC recently, actually at Pride. And I want you just to talk a little bit about that, because we have a large Jewish community here.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's there are no shortage of horrendous, terrible things going on around the world today. You know, here in my community, I'm really proud to be able to bring communities together for things like what's happening today. But it is difficult when we get broken apart, you know, because of misinformation and because of, you know, the concerns going on in other parts of the world. But at the end of the day, we have to stand strong for democracy. We have to stand strong for you know, Western values, and you know, that's core business for sure.
Yeah, and now Alex, this is interesting because I'm not sure you know this. The West Barrhaven Community Association, this riding used to be called Nepean Carleton. It's split in two. I stayed in Nepean. A young man named Pierre Polyev stayed in Carleton, but he used to live right around the corner. So just about actually the first street up, he used to live here, and I know he's been a strong advocate. Because I work with him for so many years with the Jewish community. I know your caucus has been doing great things. How has that impacted you from your time when you served overseas?
Well, it's just important, as Dave said, that we need to stand up for democracy, and we need to, you know, break down the disinformation out there, especially when it comes to terrorist organizations. And what's so frustrating, you know, conflict around the world, war anywhere, is terrible, right?
Yeah.
You know, like Dave and I have both been there. You never want to be engaged in a conflict or war. You're there to try to make life better for the average person, no matter where that conflict's going on. In Afghanistan in particular, I didn't meet a single Afghan that wasn't any different than a normal Canadian. They just want to live in peace, put food on the table, and have their children grow up with more opportunities that they had themselves. And it's something that's very so frustrating. It breaks my heart. It still does. I've spoke about this on the floor of the House of Commons, with the Taliban having taken control of Afghanistan, because they're a terrorist organization that has absolutely no sympathy, no sort of support for women and girls, and it kills me. And so I've been working as part of an all-party task force or group to try to get these former Afghan women MPs out of that country. We've got the majority of them out. We're still working on getting the last few out that we're aware of. But it's no different when you have an organization, whether it be Hamas, whether it be the Taliban, that treat women and girls as second class or even lower than other human beings. It's frustrating, and when they use their own people as human shields, that drives me bonkers as well.
I bet you. Now, you're both girl dads. You both served the military. David knows my husband. Actually, you probably know my husband too, Joe Varner. He worked for Carolyn Finley. He was Deputy Chief of Staff to Peter MacKay. And when he was over in Afghanistan on a non-combat mission, one of the things that he loved about our Canadian forces is that little girls could go to school, and he would see them with a backpack. And he's a girl dad too. We have a daughter, and it would make him really proud. Now, Naomi's here with us. You're a girl dad. Talk about how what we have in Canada is something that we should aspire to support and spread around the world.
Look, that's what democracy is all about, but it's what about treating everybody the same, no matter what their religion is, no matter what their race is, no matter what their sex or gender is. Ultimately, everybody should have the same rights in this world, and we should be supporting that freedom, that liberty, because, I mean, it's something that I believe wholeheartedly in, and I think actually the vast majority of Canadians absolutely believe in.
Yeah, and what about you?
It was heartbreaking to see these vice and virtue laws get put back into place in Afghanistan about a week or so ago. I know I've been working with a number of nonprofits that are quite involved in trying to get people out of Afghanistan. Ever since the fall, 2-3 years ago, there are still people there that helped Canadians for 20 years who are now, in serious risk. And so what we can do to get them out is really important, and it's heartbreaking to see. But, at the end of the day, what can we do? Well, as an elected official in Ottawa, we can try and have some great events, bring people together, bring OC Transpo out so people can learn about their new routes. And try.
You should. You had me until you mentioned OC Transpo.
I set that one up just for you because I know you're having a good time, taking the bus downtown.
Yeah, right. Okay, just on a final rapid fire here. We have a very fast-growing community. You've got a sort of a homogenous community, I know, having been up there. But the reality is, with Canada growing and bringing in so many new people to our country, we want to support them. And if you see here is a very diverse crowd. Let's talk about being a councillor in a very diverse community that you're trying to help continue to grow. And then if you can go towards sort of more rural, agrarian roots, and integrating newcomers into society, because that's going to be a big issue for all lawmakers and policy workers over the next little while.
So I love it. I love the diversity of Barrhaven. It's amazing.
You like the food.
I like the food. I like the dancing. If anybody's ever seen me and Teresa Kavanaugh, we're dance partners down out at Autumn Celebrations, and we like to fire it up.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing to bring people together and share and celebrate the differences as opposed to let them pull us apart.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And segregation is wrong. Yeah.
And look, and you'd be surprised, but actually Bruce Grey Owen Sound is becoming a lot more diverse too.
Yeah.
A lot of growth going on throughout some of our communities, especially down in Southgate, the Dundalk area, but Meaford, Owen Sound. And I really got to applaud the YMCA and the Newcomers Initiative Group. I got the name slightly wrong there, but I've been involved with them. So the last couple of years, I've actually been able to host with the YMCA and the welcoming newcomers to Bruce Grey Owen Sound this opportunity to present them certificates, recognize when they get their new citizenship. And it's just great to see the community come together because, again, we're all just human beings. We're all just people, and we all got to work together to make ourselves a community. Because really, when you look at this, what is this? Community is nothing more than family, and we're all just family.
Yeah. In my retirement piece, I basically said the people make the place. And I've been so excited to work with so many newcomers. It's the dancing, it's the food. But more than anything, when neighbors help neighbors and they know who they are, that breaks down so many barriers. And I think we've been very fortunate to do that. Just want to say one thing. Love the art gallery in Owen Sound. I love all the Tom Thompson. Yeah, it's amazing. Naomi, do you have anything you want to add? Because you're the kid of a politician, and it ain't always easy, and it ain't always fun, but you get to travel.
The traveling's fun.
Yeah.
All the fairs, the events we get to go to too.
The food is really tasty at everything.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can't get you a piece of corn before we head out.
Now, hold on. She's actually from Walkerton. Like, they're from Walkerton's in their riding. So do you see Willie?
Actually,
did it move?
It's in. Yeah, it hasn't been in the riding for a long time. It's in Lisa Thompson or Ben Lobb's riding.
Okay,
so
I was going to say.
Right on the
well, then
boundary,
how did Billy Walker inch his way in there to be like the man with
Billy's
the
from Hepworth, so that's always been to the top half of Bruce County. The geography, Lisa, here of our neck of the woods. I don't profess.
Yeah, but he was Bruce Gray Owen Sound, eh? So he was
only the top half of
Oh,
Bruce
so
County.
I'm going to have to text him and find out what the heck was going on. Well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you being here today. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you can and you know somebody who is a veteran of the Canadian Forces, thank them. If they're with their spouse and their children, thank them too, because the defense of our country is just as important as getting OC Transpo White. Way more important, actually. But at the end of the day, I know we get focused sometimes on what's going on in our own neighborhood, in our own community, in our own city or town. But the reality is a lot of things are going out beyond our boundaries, impact the way we govern ourselves. So thanks to both of you. I hope you have fun at the walk. I hope you have fun at the run. And I know that there's Army Day on the Hill this week, so I hope you're participating in that. That's a shameless plug for the Canadian Conference of Defense Associations, which my husband is the deputy director of, and right now stapling programs together for.
Pro Patriot.
Yeah, thank you very much from Pierre Poilievre land.
Thank you very much,
and
Lisa.
David Hill. I don't know, what do we call you? Like a tribal lord here?
No, I guess so.
Okay, thank you.